Hey everyone, and welcome to Modiker channel. In today's explainer, we're going to tackle a small but kind of tricky English phrase that can be a real head-scratcher for Indonesian speakers, a certain. Let's dive in and figure this out together.
So, have you ever been there? You want to describe a specific feeling or maybe a particular person, but you either can't or you just don't want to name them directly. In English, you just say a certain, but how do you get that same idea across in Indonesian? Well, that's exactly what we're here to break down today.
Okay, first things first. Before we can even think about the right translation, we need to get a really good grip on what a certain actually means in English. So the whole idea here is about being specific without being explicit, you know? When you say a certain person, you absolutely have someone specific in mind, but you're choosing not to say who. It's this cool little trick of being precise and vague at the exact same time. This phrase really does two main jobs for us. The first one is pointing to a specific person or thing without actually naming them. You know, like, a certain friend of mine told me a secret. The second job is to emphasize a quality, like saying, she has a certain charm. You can't really define it, but you know it's there. All right, so now that we've got the English side of things nailed down, how do we express this exact same idea in Indonesian? Let's take a look. As you can see, it's not a simple one-to-one translation. The whole vibe of a certain is usually captured by the words suatu and tertentu. Now, you might see chuka pop up in some situations, but for now, we're going to focus on the first two, because they're the most common. And which one you choose really depends on the context.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's see how this works in actual conversation. This is where it all starts to click.
Check out our first example. A certain strangeness. That isn't just a general weird feeling. No, it's a specific, particular kind of strangeness that you just can't quite put your finger on. The Indonesian word sewatu is absolutely perfect here. Suatu keanehan just perfectly captures that feeling of a specific yet undefined oddness.
Here's another great one. This time with a quality, a certain confidence. This implies a very specific level or type of confidence that really made an impact. And again, suatu is the right tool for the job. Suatu keyakinan suggests this notable kind of self-assurance, one that was just particularly convincing.
Now, for our last example, notice the little switch. Here, we're talking about a specific, unnamed person. In this case, seseorang tertentu is a much better fit. Seseorang tertentu translates really nicely to a specific person. It's clear, it's direct, and it gets the point across perfectly that you have one particular individual in mind. So, after all that, what's the one big thing you should remember from this explainer? Let's boil it all down. Here it is, the key takeaway. To get that English idea of a certain into Indonesian, your go-to words are going to be suatu and tertentu. A really good rule of thumb is to use suatu for qualities or abstract things and tertentu when you're talking about specific people.
And that brings us to you. You know? The best way to make a new word or concept stick is to use it right away. So think about it. How could you use suatu or tertentu in a sentence today? Go on, try to come up with one right now.
Thank you so much for joining us for this quick language deep dive. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe to Modiker channel for way more explainers just like this one. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe.